The suggestion that shattered everything. Jessica sat across from me at dinner, her tone calm but cold. "I think Emma should go to boarding school." My fork froze mid-air. Emma, my 7-year-old daughter, the girl I'd raised from a newborn, the light of my life? I asked what she meant, and she spoke about needing space, for the twins, for us, for our real family. She said Emma took too much of my attention and the boys needed me more. It stung deeply. Emma wasn't some side responsibility. She was my daughter. My first child. But to understand why Jessica's words felt like betrayal, you need to know how Emma came into my life. It was 4 years before Jessica and I met, when Emma's mother, Sandra, reappeared in my life, pregnant, frightened, and unstable. After a paternity test confirmed Emma was mine, Sandra vanished into psychiatric care, and I brought my daughter home from the NICU alone. She was so tiny then, but I promised her I'd never let her feel abandoned again. And I meant it. That promise now stood between me and the woman I thought was my future. Jessica's suggestion wasn't just an idea. It was a fracture, a warning of a storm I hadn't seen coming. Chapter 2, You're always choosing her. Jessica used to adore Emma. Or so I thought. She would play with her, read with her, even cried when Emma first called her Mom. But when our twins were born, everything shifted. Emma's giggles became interruptions. Her presence, a burden. Jessica started calling her your daughter, again. Not our girl. She said Emma was different. Said the twins looked like us, acted like us, and needed us more. Emma, she insisted, had her own mother somewhere. Why should we carry that weight forever? I listened in stunned silence one night as she and her mother whispered in the kitchen about how Emma might be better off, learning about her real roots. I confronted her, and Jessica downplayed everything. "You're being too sensitive," she said. But the very next morning she placed brochures for boarding schools beside my coffee. She'd already booked virtual tours, spoken to admissions, planned it all behind my back. And then came the words that sealed it: "I always feel like you choose Emma over me." I didn't have the heart to tell her. She was right. Packing a suitcase behind my back. I thought we still had time. Time to talk. Time to find a middle ground. But one evening I came home to find Jessica in Emma's room, folding clothes into a suitcase. "I spoke to the school," she said. "They'll take her for a trial week. Without me. Without Emma even knowing." I told her to stop. Told her this wasn't just her decision. She said I was being unreasonable, that Emma would adjust, that it was for the best. I saw something in Jessica's eyes then, not malice but fatigue. A woman convinced she was doing what was necessary. But when Emma walked in and saw her suitcase on the bed, her small voice cracked. "Are we going somewhere?" Jessica smiled and said they were just visiting a school. Emma turned to me and asked, "Are you coming too, Daddy?" I looked into her eyes, those eyes that had only ever known my home as her safe place, and I knew I couldn't let her go. Chapter 4, The Notebook That Broke My Heart. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking, was Emma scared? Did she feel unwanted? I checked her backpack, desperate to understand how she was coping. And I found it. A small spiral notebook filled with lists. Ways to make Jessica like me. Be quieter in the mornings. Don't ask for help with homework. Help with the twins more. Clean room every day. And finally, if I'm really good, maybe I won't have to go away. I sat there sobbing, clutching the notebook. My little girl was trying to earn love. Trying to survive in a house where she felt like an intruder. I showed it to Jessica. She didn't cry. She said, "It proves she feels the tension. Boarding school would help her escape that." Escape? Emma didn't need to escape. She needed a home. A family. She needed me. And for the first time I saw clearly what I had to do, even if it meant tearing our household apart. 5. The ultimatum. Jessica gave me 1 week. "Send Emma to boarding school or I take the twins and go," she said. No more pretense. No more discussions. She had already spoken to a lawyer. Had already planned her exit. That weekend she packed. Took the twins to her mother's house. Said she was giving me time to think. Time to choose. I watched her drive away. Emma stood at the window waiting for someone to come back. That night, I held Emma as she fell asleep. I thought about her art club, her friends, the little humming sound she makes when she concentrates. I also thought about the cost. Losing my marriage. Losing the twins in my daily life. But one thing was clear. A marriage that demanded I send away my child wasn't one I wanted to save. Chapter 6, The House That Feels Like Home Again. I told Jessica my decision. Emma stays. Jessica came the next day with her mother and a moving truck. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just packed. Emma watched from the stairs, silent, hugging her stuffed bunny. When Jessica said goodbye, Emma asked, "Did I make you sad?" Jessica replied gently, "No, sweetie. Sometimes families don't work the way we hope." Now weeks later the house is quiet. The twins are with Jessica, but I see them on weekends. Emma still sets out toys for them sometimes, then quietly puts them back. She's doing better at school. She smiles more, sleeps better. And every night when I tuck her in, I remind her, "You are wanted. You are loved. You are home. I lost a marriage, but I kept a promise. And that means everything."